Sup, I know a bunch of you have been keenly waiting for me to bring out a tutorial on the INU alignment and how to fix all these little bugs with your auto turn turning you 90 degrees, or maybe your deadling store target is way off course and stuff like that. I don't got nothing for you. A bunch of us have been trying for days and it doesn't quite add up. At least the manual does it differently from the tutorial mission, which does it differently from the auto start, so I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, you can see me in the background. I'm busy even trying to fully do a precision alignment before startup, but I'm making sure that the radar is as aligned as it can get, and a few other variables. And then afterwards, I'm trying to wait for the Doppler to warm up like it used to after you got the KO for one, the Jenny's happening, and I wait even a few extra minutes. And then you take off, and immediately you see the HSI start going party party and drifting off to nowhere. So yeah, that doesn't help. It seems like the hot starts just, they work better. For some reason they're aligned better, and whenever you try and realign stuff using even precision alignment, it is messing something up and your drift just goes insane. Now, there's definitely the factor whereby even with precision alignment after a longish flight, so I'm assuming after an hour, there's stuff in the manual where it says, 1.2% drift, at the best possible alignment case, I think it was. You will still need to have either INU fixed point set in the mission editor or do it yourself. Ideally, find something that's recognizable on the ABRIS, which uses the GPS. So assuming you've got satellite navigation, you find something that's recognizable, like a bridge or a major feature. Don't just make it a lone tree that could be mistaken for 50 other things. Something you'll see in the ABRIS, something you'll see looking at the cockpit. You pick that spot, you make sure your ABRIS is in the same unit coordinates as your PVR with decimal minutes and with degrees, minutes, decimal minutes. You then find those coordinates, you go into enter mode, you click INU point, fixed points, you pick one of the numbers and you capture in those coordinates, 0 to start with northern, and then you type in the coordinates, and then 0 again to start with, say, eastern hemisphere, and then you capture that. It's got an extra leading digit. And Nevada would probably be, you start with 0, capture the coordinates, and then on the second set you press 1 because it's going to be negative for western, and then you capture those. This other thing, you press enter, you go back to operational mode, you select that point. It should also, if correctly set, be telling you on the watch ekran, that you've got a fixed point nearby. And then you either need to, if you've got the Schwal and the flyover point, you select the fixed point that you're going to fly over. You make sure you fly over the thing. As you fly over it, you press uncage on your Schwal, and that should update it. As in, not your heading, probably, but your coordinates. The other method is you set the switch down to the I251V, meaning the Schwal. You then laser lock that specific point. Have your INU fixed point selected in that specific point, and then you tap uncage once it's been laser locked. Again, another way of locking it up, possibly more accurate than flying over, your choice. It's still not going to be perfect. If you press self coordinates on the PVI and you compare it to your ABRIS, it's still not going to be exactly aligned. But either way, this is to be expected. The fixing the INU or just having it realign at some point in a longer flight. The bit where it starts drifting immediately at such an insane amount, that's not right. I've seen explanations saying, hey, you got to do a magnetic heading alignment or afterwards and then quickly switch it back to gyro, and I've seen posts saying you don't do that in both English and the Russian forums with poorly done Google Translate. And I've seen stuff saying the Doppler only kicks in after you go wheels up and weight off wheels and wheels up, and then it kicks in. But it seems like by the time it kicks in, your drift is already gone nuts, so it's like, what's the point of the alignment if you have to already use a fixed point immediately, and it's not just your coordinates, it's your heading that's going berserk. So I'm not sure. I'm going to wait for ED to come back on what the actual procedure should be regarding the alignment. Otherwise, I'd say if you are going to cold start, probably just have it use the accelerated alignment for now. So that's the unfortunate news I have there. I'm not going to at the moment spend more time on that specifically. And then doubling back to a bright piece of news. It seems like apparently they have plans on working on a new ejection animation, which if you do it as frequently as I do, cool. This is Volk. Cheers.